Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Naples, or Napoli, I believe is how they pronounce it there locally. This was our first stop on our celebrity cruise. We booked this like a few of our other cruises we'll talk about later, and future videos through shoreexcursionsgroup.com, no affiliation. But there's going to be many tour operators to choose from, whether it's the cruise line itself or just other local tour operators. For this particular stop, we visited Ravello, Amalfi, Positano, and Sorrento in a shared van. The van wasn't too full, it just worked out that way. In a later excursion in France, we did have a full van, but even then, I think there was maybe about 6, 7 of us with that future one. This one was about, I think there ended up being about 4 or 5 of us on this one, so pretty good. It was great. We had a friendly driver that took us for a nice overlook photo before going to our first stop, which was Ravello. It has a quiet little spot with a cafe. There's a few shops where we were able to stop. This is where we found a walking path towards the ocean for some great views. I highlight that in my video. It's when we walk down the steps, and it's just nice and open there with some beautiful ocean views from a great vantage point. But next we drove over to Amalfi, and we saw a lot of the buildings along the coast. And if you saw my video prior to this, you saw that I had some videos and photos off the long pier that they have to walk onto. And you can take a lot of those photos and videos. There was a lot of activity in the water, so a lot of large, nice boats. So it really makes it nice when you're taking and spanning, the area to get some of those videos. And then, I spent a chunk of my time right when we got there, and then, after, prior to leaving, just soaking it all in and getting some of those nice views. The town wasn't too big, but there is more food and shopping here than there was that I noticed in Ravello. We then drove along the coast to our excursion stops, and we were able to get a few stops along the way that gave us some gorgeous overlooks of the town. So the driver was very good about stopping. Unsure if those were more of the touristy stops, but regardless, some of those stops that he gave us, you can see, especially towards the end of my video, there's some nice overlooks that we got some nice videos out of. The one thing was, on all the stops and everything in Amalfi is just all the colors in the buildings just makes it really pop and just gives it that beauty that you're used to seeing. Out here along the drive, the roads are so narrow, and there's a lot of tour buses that were on this road along the coast. I honestly have no idea how they maneuver out here. Every time I thought they would get stuck, they just managed to pull it out. Even if it took a couple minutes, they managed to do it without any incidents, at least while we were there maneuvering around. As far as on the excursion, the last 2 stops were Positano and Sorrento. The stops included, there are mainly shops here. That's why I don't have much content in regards to the video I posted. But they were still nice, so take some time, walk through there, and just enjoy that. Actually, the shirt I'm wearing right now was from a shop in Sorrento. I love the color, and then the selling point for me was it's got this nice little button here that you can see that just gave it that nice touch, and thought that of the few things that I did come back home with from Europe, this shirt was one of them. Yeah. So what were my thoughts about this area and the excursions? I like that we had a small group overall to travel with, and that we had a lot of great views. We got to experience the color and the vibrance of the towns. If you're here to shop, then you'll have a good choice of small shops to go through. A lot of them will have similar things, but there's going to be a lot of shops to experience while you're there. This area isn't going to be a place where you want to drive yourself, and maybe somewhere you want to spend a few days to visit. But definitely if you're on a cruise or traveling through, just like we did for a day, I think it was a good use of the day to see and experience what till then was only through just, seeing what you see on Instagram, YouTube, other photos and videos. I think it's well worth getting out there yourself to experience that. The one thing maybe we do next time is maybe get on a boat and be able to cruise along the coast. And then we could maybe experience a lot more of just that vibrance and seeing, the architecture from a different vantage point versus just the overlooks. The only thing was that with Ravello, it had a lot of steps, but the others did have some incline walks. So just take that into account. Cruises tend to have a lot of elderly, so you know your limits, so just take that into account as you're thinking of some of these excursions. But overall, besides Ravello, I think it was okay as walkability. Yeah, so that's kind of the trip we had for our stop there along the Amalfi Coast. Yeah, so let me know what you think, if you have been here or if you have any thoughts. I look forward to continue to do this. We're early on in the YouTube channel, so yeah, I hope you come along to the next stop, and we'll see you there.